What's happening, guys? My name's Austin, and it is finally here. The long-awaited keynote from Ray Quintana, the CEO of DevvE, as well as Paul Bureau from Delubac, our newest banking partner. Now, because this talk was uploaded by Paris Blockchain Week to YouTube, we're going to have a little fun with it, and I'm going to play it for you guys so that we can watch it along together. Now, there's a few things I want you to pay close attention to in this talk. Number one is the way in which Ray describes the innovation behind DevvExchange, as well as the partners that we're working with. In addition to that, he describes how we've removed the risk factor from crypto that so many users have just come to accept. Now, you're also going to hear Paul dive into a couple of very important topics, including the heavy appetite that banks have for DeFi yields, as well as some of the barriers to entry that they've experienced around risk and regulatory compliance. Finally, I want you to notice the ways in which DevvExchange and the DevvX network solve these problems in a way that isn't just nice for us as end users, but actually fits the regulatory mold that banks are obligated to meet for their client protections. Thanks, and enjoy the show.
Paul Bureau, please come to the stage. And they'll be discussing Dev Digital, the next generation digital asset exchange, bringing DeFi to TradFi. Thank you.
Hello. Okay. So a pleasure to be here. And a big part of this is that we're talking about Dev Digital and how Dev Digital is a next generation digital asset exchange, and how it changes the paradigm of trading. So a couple of weeks ago, I was at the Digital Asset Summit in New York City, and they had a talk that was next generation banking. And nothing about that talk was next generation banking. It was an L1 pivoting, a big L1. So I want to make sure that this talk is 180 degrees of that it's actually sharing the capabilities, the functionality, the new products of the next generation digital asset exchange. So that's why we're all here. So before I start, though, who here is in TradFi? Great. Who here is in DeFi? Okay. Who's in both? Awesome. So along with that, what is your favorite crypto exchange? Who likes Coinbase? Who likes Binance? Who likes Bybit? Who likes FTX? So that was actually a trick question, because none of those are actual exchanges. They're actually brokerages. You have to take your assets and put them into their wallets for you to trade. So they have control of your assets. They have your keys. And the reason the Bybit hack happened was your assets were in their wallets. The reason FTX happened was your assets were in their wallets and they built a back door to it and pulled it out. So one of the things that the next generation digital asset exchange is going to do is it's going to be non-custodial. So you'll be able to trade where your assets are not on the exchange. The exchange doesn't touch them at all. And that whole paradigm of your keys, your assets, it comes to fruition, and that's a true exchange. And so we're going to be able to do that with what we call contingent transactions. And another piece of that is that we're able to do T0 settlement. And so we are building this exchange with one of the largest stock exchanges as a partner. And they call that, both of those pieces are Harry Potter magic, because they can't believe that we have these capabilities. If you think of all the stock market activity that's happened in the last week, just think about the volume of a single day. All those exchanges are T2, which means it takes 2 days to settle. So take the volume of a single day, multiply by 2, try to think about the float, how big that is. The marginal interest, the cost, the settlement risk, all of that all of that is taken away. So it's truly impactful on a huge scale. And so those are just kind of two components of what we're talking about for the next generation digital asset exchange. Another piece is, so while we're saying it's kind of bringing DeFi to TradFi, you can also think we're bringing TradFi to DeFi in the sense that we have fraud protection, recourse if someone commits fraud and hacks your account, or not hacks your account, that is theft. But we have theft protection as well. And again, the ability to have recourse if these things happen and ensure that all your assets don't just disappear. I mean, for a business to run that could lose 1.4 billion and people just go, yes, that's what happens. And that's a huge number. But if you look at the annual amount of theft on exchanges or any of these transactions, it's usually around 2.5 billion a year. And it's just crazy that can happen. And that's a part of the DeFi space. So we're eliminating that as well. And when I say we're eliminating that, the people that the genius who is the core innovator here, he's a serial entrepreneur, not a crypto bro who said, here's a white paper, give me money and I'll build it. He built the innovation and technology first, created hundreds of pages of patents, and then rolled it out. So the approach is, again, more the standard tech approach. And again, the partnerships, looking how to enable new business models is a big key of this. We have the patents for privacy in the Web3 space, which is incredible. When we first filed them, filed the PCTs, they came back and there was no prior art. And we thought, really? No one thought to build an architecture that worked within privacy and regulatory compliance, cross-jurisdictional compliance. So again, we have all those pieces in one place. And what this technology allows us to do is, again, everybody controls their own assets, the trades, the settlement risk, all types of risks are taken away, including that annoying, if I hit this button, am I sending my assets into the ether? Everybody's sweated over that. And again, we are able to ensure that doesn't happen. We can also ensure that if you lose your seed phrases for your hard wallets, and it all disappears, that can be recovered as well. So it sounds again like Harry Potter magic, but it's all real. It all exists, and it's very exciting to be driving and building this out and bringing it to the whole financial ecosystem. And a big part of that is the institutional partners we're working with. And I'm very happy to say we have Paul Bureau here from Delubac, who is a partner of ours. And if you guys don't know Delubac, they're one of the leading innovators in the digital asset space for a bank. Their CEO has a PhD in computer science, was a Bitcoin miner before he took over the bank. And so they've, since he's taken over, there's been unprecedented growth there. And again, a lot of innovation driven in the digital asset space. And Paul here is the point of the spear. He's in charge of digital asset products. So we're working together with Paul and Delubac to take this technology, not only embedded in the concept of the single exchange, but the whole ecosystem, and aligning it and bringing these capabilities to the larger TradFi space as well. So with that being said, I'm going to hand it over to Paul and let him speak a bit. I've taken up more than my time.
Thank you, Ray. Hey, everyone. So as Ray mentioned, we are a French bank. So we are under the European regulation and previously under the French regulation, the Loi Pacte. We were the first French bank to be registered on this. And to be honest, it's quite stunning because on a daily basis, we have people connecting to our website and asking us to do things on blockchain. Things being, let me get access to the DeFi world, give me a loan backed by my Bitcoins and everything. So we have a lot of demands. And as you can imagine, we are a bank. So if we lose the funds and the cryptos of our clients, obviously those clients are, one, going to get angry, and two, going to ask us for reimbursement. So we cannot afford to do these kind of things. And I would be glad to tell my clients, hey, come to me, and I'll give you the DeFi yield that you can find on stable coins directly on something that is hosted at Delubac. Unfortunately, I cannot afford to vet all the DeFi pools that exist, see their track record, and hedge my money against the fact that they are not going to be hacked, and I'm not going to lose my customers' funds. That's really why we started talking with Dev Digital, right? Because as Ray mentioned, he waived the issues that I could have getting my client access to those new kinds of products. And they are asking for it on a daily basis. Banks are now in front of people that have 99% of their money in crypto. Before that, it was, okay, I have a lot of money. How could I diversify my portfolio by buying maybe 2% in crypto? We have access now to whales, to millionaires in crypto, and even people that are strong believers in the ecosystem and want to get more access to it. If I could get access to an exchange where I can guarantee that I'm not going to lose the funds of my clients, that I have instant settlement, that the trades are cheaper, and on this ecosystem, I can build, for example, a DeFi pool with every single people on it, KYC'd on a French law basis and European law basis, I can then ensure that they get access to the possibilities offered by the DeFi world in something that a bank can navigate. And this is the real next step because, trust us, we've explored everything that we could do on this, and there's always a lot of risk to be assessed. When you are a bank, you are supposed to handle this risk. It's far more complicated than the DeFi world. And this is precisely with this kind of technology. Ray just sprinkled the surface, but you have a lot more power under this technology at consensus level, the contingent trades that Ray mentioned, etc., that will allow us to give our clients the thing that they are asking for us to do on a daily basis. I cannot put my clients' funds on Aave. I would like to, right? Because the yield is awesome. And when you talk about banks, they are all about bringing new customers. If I could promise them 8% yield on cash, obviously I would bring a lot more clients. Unfortunately, what if? It's always the what if, right? But if this what if is waived, because I could actually make sure that the origin of funds on this yield, on this pool, and everything is KYC'd, and I can ensure that it's AML compliant, TradFi compliant, and the yield is bringing institutional interest as well as retail interest in something that I can handle, understand, and weigh the risk. Obviously, this is exactly where we are bringing DeFi to TradFi. We've talked a lot about DeFi versus TradFi over the past year. Now we are talking, I don't know if you've seen the shift here. 2 years ago, it was DeFi versus TradFi because blockchain was supposed to kill TradFi. Now, over the past year, it's TradFi and DeFi, and now it's bringing DeFi to TradFi. So I think you've seen the shift here. It's always the same with innovation, right? And when you see big players bringing the money, you always have TradFi trying to catch up and seeing what they can do. And at Delubac, we are sure that this is with this kind of technology and infrastructure that we will be able to allow our clients to navigate this world, but in a way that they trust a bank to do right. When you talk to retail, at the moment in France, the first person they want to talk to when they invest into crypto are banks, followed by self-custody. So if we want to be this player, this trustee, right, we need to ensure that what we do and what we give them access to follows the same code as they are used to with TradFi.
Brilliant. Absolutely. So again, it's the best of both worlds, or all worlds here. And we're building this out as we go. Because we have new tools, we can create new products. As Paul suggested, this is kind of the tip of the iceberg. If we went deeper and really kind of explained all the capabilities and what we're able to do, it would take quite a while, but I would love to be able to kind of take smart, creative people like yourself and share those tools, and then see what comes back. So there's so much potential for new ideas, creating new products, and just changing the whole landscape with these tools. Because again, just what we've talked about here, we kind of just walk straight through it, maybe even a little subdued, but it's actually amazingly impactful on a huge scale. It's really a paradigm shift. And like I said, one of the largest stock exchanges in the world is over themselves to be a part of it, and we'll be announcing them soon. And again, one of our first and key partners. We're super excited to be working with Delubac. And any questions, comments, ideas, suggestions from any of you, would love to hear. Unfortunately, we don't have time for any questions, comments, ideas, or suggestions, but me and my team, can my team stand up so people can see you where you are? Up, one hand there, one there, one there. Happy to answer any questions or listen to any ideas. And also, we have a cocktail event tomorrow at 3:00 in the Investor Lounge. You all are more than welcome to join that as well. And thank you for your time and interest. And it's been a real pleasure. And thank you, Paul.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
All right. So there is the keynote from PBW. I am so bummed I was not able to be there with them in Paris. But one thing I wanted to point out to you guys. Now, Ray said a couple of things that I think the community is going to be extremely excited about. And I'm not going to repeat it, but he said it. So it's perfectly fine. And I know that you guys picked up on it when you heard it. But one thing that I want to touch on is the amount of, so if you've got a bank, right? And banks obviously have a ton of laws behind them. But one thing that a bank likes to do, all banks, is to make money for their clients, but they need to do so in the most compliant, most risk-averse way possible. And so it's no secret that the yields that have been achieved in DeFi have been extremely attractive, especially to money managers who, I mean, let's face it, their bonuses are based upon how well they do for their clients. But the amount of risk associated with DeFi, the amount of potential non-compliance, the amount of smart contract risk, right? He mentioned Aave there, which if I could get, to quote him, if I could get 8% on cash for my clients, they'd all want to do it, but he can't put it in Aave for a number of reasons. One, he doesn't know where it's not AML compliant because it's mixing all sorts of different funds. It's not KYC'd. There's smart contract risk, right? There's just too much risk for a bank to jump on. And in his words, right, we've basically taken that risk away. Now, for a small to mid-sized bank, right, this is a huge deal. So the reason that the Delubac partnership is massive is not just because we're able to do this with them, but because they are a very, very important, I will call it, proof of concept on how we're going to bring this technology to the world. So thanks for tuning in, guys. My name's Austin. I hope you guys will watch this multiple times because there are some serious nuggets of information in there that I know is going to make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, my friends. All right, I'm going to get out of here. We'll catch you guys on the next live stream. Take care. Bye-bye.